G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game. Spawning in on the southeast side of the map, we've got Leenock playing as the French. On the opposite side of the map, we've got Hera, who is playing as the Holy Roman Empire. This map, of course, is Hillandale, and we've got quite the interesting spawn for you guys. We've got players who have spawned very, very close with their bases to the center of the map, which is definitely a little bit more advantageous for our French player. So Leenock going to be having a very good spawn here. Going to be able to wall in the backs here quite easily. It should be easy for him to do that if he needs to. At the same time, he can always look to wall in his opponent. Another easy wall across there. Pretty big gap in the middle here. It's going to be a little bit more tough to do that. But we'll check in with Hera. We'll see exactly how he's up to because he is playing the Holy Roman Empire. Already got that prelate out. Just got to go with the one scout opening, which is pretty standard stuff. Now, for anybody who's watching this on YouTube, I want to remind you guys that if you're interested in seeing more Leenock gameplay, then I encourage you, in fact, I double encourage you, make sure you guys check out N4C. N4C is happening at the moment. In fact, right now, I am on the ground in Berlin. Well, technically not right now, but by the time you guys hear this, I will be on the ground. I will be in Berlin. I will be doing my thing, and I want to see you guys there because I'm going to be casting Leenock, who personally, I think is the favorite to win the tournament. Now, I'm not a betting man, but if I was, I would be saying no matter how short Leenock is, he's going to be an amazing bet. This guy is an absolute beast. He is grinding out games recently. Keep in mind, Leenock, Korean. And you guys want to know something about the Koreans? They love to play games for 26 hours a day. These guys are absolutely crazy when it comes to it. We've seen them in games like StarCraft, in League of Legends, just completely take control of the entire scene, and it's primarily just because of their fortitude, their resilience when it comes to the ability to grind. So we've seen Leenock now doing that exact same thing. For anybody unfamiliar with Leenock, so he actually goes back way back. 2011 was when I first heard the name of Leenock. I was watching GSL on GOM TV, and I think it was being casted by Tastosis, two of my idols, Tasteless and Artosis, a dream casting combo. And these guys still cast at the moment, but I think they're casting StarCraft 1. Yeah, they were casting StarCraft 2 back then. And it was Leenock that they were casting, and he actually went through. He won the entire tournament. I think it was the, I want to say like the MLG or something like that. I can't even remember back then. God, 2011. Jeez, that was so long ago. 2011, man. I was 21 years old. Can you believe that? 21. Jeez, what do you even do when you're 21? It's crazy to me to think that like you look back at 21 and you're like, man, that was crazy. And then you're reminded that you were told like 4 or 5 years prior to that you've got to decide what you're going to do for the rest of your life. Like whether you're going to be a lawyer, a doctor. I mean, you could be anything. And you got to decide it right then. And I'm looking back on it, I'm like, man, I had no clue where I would end up. All I knew is that my mum kept telling me to stop playing video games and do your goddamn homework, Drongo. All right. And welcome to therapy with Drongo, ladies and gentlemen. Hera going to be going down with that Archon Chapel nice and early in the base. A beautiful Archon Chapel as well. Now, I got to give this one very close to a 10. It's got the gold vein. Of course, it's got the lumber camp. It's got the town center for nice and safety on that, and also going to have the beautiful huntable deer in here as well. So Hera going to be ultra happy with that. Now, keep in mind when it comes to this game, when it comes to the way that this game plays out, what is the name of the game? The name of the game is, can Hera get to the castle age without dying? If so, good. Can he then secure 3 relics? So that's all he needs. So 1, 2, 3. If he can secure 3 relics, he doesn't need this one. He doesn't need that one. If he can just secure 3 relics, great. That's it. And then the final question. For $600, can Hera get to the Imperial Age? And if the answer to that is yes, then Hera looks to stand a great chance in this game. But it's all going to be based on that first question, whether he's going to be able to get up to the 3rd age in the first place without taking too much damage. Because you can get up to the 3rd age, but if you've got 26 units in your base and 3 of them are battering rams, well, you're not going to have a good time. Hera now aging up. Archon Chapel is finally complete. You can see that it's covering out a few of these villages. Probably going to need to bring these villages down so they're chopping at a bit more of a weird angle. But Hera going to be scouting out his opponent. We'll check in with Leenock and see how he's doing. Looks like he's opened up with a mill nice and early on the deer. Already going for that wheelbarrow tech as well. Going to be opening up with a school of cavalry. Tapping away at it nice and slow. He's not in a rush today, it seems. Double scout opening for him. That's why you see he's got so many sheep back here sitting on, let me double check. We've got 10 sheep right now into that town center. Very, very nice. 4 villagers on the gold. So to me, that indicates he's just probably going to be looking to play some sort of standard play. But I'm curious to see how he's going to be looking to counter the Holy Roman Empire playstyle here. And now we actually see Hera going to be dropping walls down outside the perimeter of his base. We can see Leenock doing his best to scout out the front of his own base to see how close he's going to be able to get in there. But a new age has now begun. Let's see what Leenock looks to do. Looks like it's going to be a scout opening. Doesn't look like professional scouts coming through. Horticulture not going to be coming through either. But Leenock probably going to be adding in an archery range, I would expect. And looking to begin applying pressure potentially to this gold mine. It's always going to be an option. And a barrack's going to be coming down for Hera nice and early. He's not even needing to scout this. He just knows that it's going to be coming in. He's not bothering with an archery range. He's not bothering with a stable. He's just going straight into a barracks. He knows how important it is. And now we see that scout going to be coming in and spotting out a few of these villagers, dropping down that mill. Leenock doing his best. And look at Leenock being so cheeky. This is a classic move when your enemy has just dropped down their mill onto the hunt. What he's doing is he's scaring away all the deer, so they're further away, and that way it takes it reduces the efficiency of his villagers. Now I would encourage Hera. I would say, hey Hera, go ahead and actually just snipe that villager out. But you can see what he's doing right there. Again, just trying to scare the deer away as far as he can from the mill. So ideally, you think about it, the villager's going to have to go in, and then it's going to have to come out. But it looks like we might have ourselves a little bit of action up on this north side. Spearman actually going to be picking up a scout for free. Very well done to that Spearman. We'll take a look over at how Leenock is doing, but still going to be repelling off a few. And looks like the Royal Knight actually got in while we weren't looking. I don't know if any villagers did go down. It doesn't look like I see any villagers on the ground. A couple hits may have gone through, and you see this villager now moving out. It looks like Leenock going to be able to come through. Villager going to be able to survive with 2 health. Does it go down? Indeed, it does look like it's going to go down. Now the spear's going to be trying to repel that Royal Knight. So 1 villager going down over towards Leenock. He's going to be very happy with that nice little pickup. We'll check out the base of Leenock, see how he's doing back home. And it does indeed look like he's going to be going for a 1-1-1. This is a classic Terran build where the players will go for one Rax, 1 factory, and then go into the Starport, potentially look to get a little bit of pressure in with the Banshees. We'll also look to get... Oh, hold on. Wrong game, Drongo. This is the 1-1-1 in Age of Empires. Okay, so he's going for the 1 stable, the 1 archery range, the 1 barracks build. A very strong build order. When it comes to contesting Age 2, so this is very good. This is something that GUA pioneered. And then you've also got the option to add in a 4th building, typically on 1 base before you go into that 2nd town center or before you look to go to the 3rd age. You can normally choose one of the 2. But ideally, you would add in, a 2nd barracks or a 2nd stable, a 2nd archery range, depending on what you see coming out from your enemy. So your enemy might be going, full barracks or something like that. And then you could just add in a 2nd archery range to try and counter that. So that's essentially what you would be doing with that 1-1-1. But great opening already from Leenock here with the 1-1-1. And now looking to continue expanding. He's got 6 villagers on that gold, so probably going to be looking to get a few more of those technologies through. Keep in mind, he is playing the French. He's always going to have access to those technologies, and that's exactly what we see. Getting the +1 for, or getting the not lumber preservation, the double broadaxe? I think it's, the double broadaxe going to be coming in for him. We'll check out and see if he's got the specialized pick. It's coming through right now, specialized pick. So Leenock really just absolutely nailing this economic French play, and this is what we love to see because it's so difficult to deal with. And now behind this, I suspect we're going to even see horticulture come out from him. It really wouldn't be surprising considering he's got so many villagers on food. But a little bit of a push going to be coming out now. Hera is deciding to try and stay in that 2nd age and fight it out a little bit longer. You can see he's got the double melee unit, so we'll be able to hold this one on. And you can see he's actually looking to get a nice little wall up here on the front himself. Now keep in mind, Leenock hasn't opted to go for walls out on the extremities here, so Leenock going to be able to, or rather Hera always going to be able to delete these walls, walk through, grab a relic if he needs to. But now we'll take a look over at Hera's base and see how he's doing. He's still about 600 food away from aging up. Now actually going to be falling back onto farms. Never want to be doing this as the Holy Roman Empire, and kind of a bit curious that he's doing it, to be honest. Looks like Archer's going to be pushing up towards the front line. Got to be careful here. They're going to be falling behind the wall. It looks like one of them going to be going down, unfortunately. So Hera making a bit of a mistake there, and now going to be pushing out. Not enough horsemen, it seems. And this wall definitely going to be sieged down at this stage. We'll check in with Leenock and see how he's doing. He's got the scout behind enemy lines. But ideally for Hera, what he should be doing is just expanding out to the berries. You would just drop a mill down on these berries. Drop another mill down on these berries. And that's where you'd be spending the majority of your resources. And then you'd be getting all of these bad boys out over on your berries. Obviously, when you're dropping down your farms, I mean, you're going to have to put them down anyway. But ideally, you want to kind of delay them as much as possible. Because you got to think about it, right? If we take a look at this villager, you can see he's dropped down 6 farms so far. That's 450 wood. That's 3 barracks that he could be putting down, 3 stables, 3 archery range that he could be putting down, and he hasn't put down. So that's going to leave a hole somewhere. You know, it's all about that opportunity cost. Dropping down the blacksmith now you can see he's potentially looking at getting those upgrades. Still yet to pick up any of those upgrades. Probably going to be looking for +1 defense. So I would expect that we see Iron Undermesh come through shortly. But now a bit of a concern as the push comes through. And keep in mind, behind this, Leenock always going to be adding in more infrastructure. So we do see the second barracks going to be coming down for him. Technology also, you can see that he is well and truly on the way to getting those +1s. He's got so many of those already. And now going to begin kiting back. You can see Leenock going to be trying his best. We'll enter into the cinematic mode so you guys can witness some of this fight happening in firsthand or beautiful. I don't even know what to say. You can just witness this fight happening in all of its glory. And a couple of men-at-arms getting thrown in there as well. Unfortunately, it looks like the Archer's going to be able to push back the army from Hera, and Leenock definitely going to be in a pretty decent position here. Now, I suspect we're probably going to have a battering ram or two that may come in here for Leenock as our French player, but we'll have to wait. We'll have to see how he looks to play it out. So we'll head back into that mode, and we'll potentially look and see what he's got in the way of technology. Indeed, siege engineering going to be on the way. You can see it takes a minute to research. It's going to be another 42 seconds until Iron Undermesh is done. So that's exactly what he's going to be looking at. This is an absolutely awesome build coming out from Leenock, though. I got to be honest with you guys. I feel like this is probably one of the only builds that could keep up with the Delhi, just simply because the Delhi are going to be taking all of these upgrades as well. And as the French, if you can just get the upgrades then and try and keep them in the second age, then you're going to be on an even footing with them. As long as you just deny those sacred sites from them, as long as you keep training villagers so you've got that nice little villager deficit, it's definitely a strong civ. And you can see already a 5 villager deficit coming out. Obviously, Hera lost that villager early on in the game, but I don't think he's lost any more since. So only about 4 villagers down. Has now opted towards those mills. You can see he's got 1 mill down towards the south. He had to add a second mill up towards this north position. Obviously, wants to keep it all near the Arkan Chapel, and that's why he's trended towards this south side of the town center rather than going on the north side. But now in the middle of the map, it looks like Hera going to be pushing out, trying to get past the enemy spears, and manages to do so. So going to be heading over to the other side. Hera, quickly, you got to be careful, my friend. The horsemen do manage to make their way away, but keep in mind, we're going to have that technology coming through from Leenock any second. You can see it's got another 38 seconds left on it. So he's going to be having a very simple time pushing in and going for the finish. I suspect that Hera really isn't going to know what hit him when that comes in. But Hera going to be trying to do a little bit of a counter raid here, looking to pick up reinforcements. Not going to have any luck whatsoever because Leenock is very smart, very wise, keeps all of his units back, and then he's going to move them across together just because he knows those units are out there. He knows those horsemen are out there on the field. Leenock almost ready to drop down that battering ram. You can see he's got about 10 seconds left on that bad boy. Indeed, he does. Good call, Drongo. And going to be dropping it down on the front line here. A beautiful massive infantry that he's got out here. Just a couple of cavalry units just to supplement it. And a bit of the raid, you can see it now. Does get picked up. Leenock does see it. I suspect it's because he's got the high ground. Now Hera going to be running in. Hera not paying attention. Actually going to be losing one. Oh, gosh. 1, 2 horsemen do go down. Beautiful mass that's coming out right now as well on this front, and we're going to see the battering ram now go down. A little bit of a ram dance coming in. We will follow the spearman around as he does his ram dance in his natural habitat. Now players going to be, well, now the new spears are going to be looking to do a bit of a ram dance. Players, well, the units unsure exactly which direction they should go around, but opting for that counterclockwise direction. And now it begins, ladies and gentlemen. We have got ourselves a bit of battering ram action, and Hera gets chased back towards his base, and he is still yet to get up to the 3rd age. This is something that we talked about in the beginning. Remember, we identified the things that he needs to do to win this game. Number 1, get to the 3rd age safely. Well, he hasn't achieved that, so he's not going to be able to win at the game at this stage. So he's going to look to get out a significant mass of men-at-arms. I do like the way he's playing it. With the extra +1, it's going to help him out a lot. Only going to be able to take 2 damage, but this is a decent mass of men-at-arms. 16 men-at-arms in here. Going to be going up against the spearmen. These guys don't have that +1 defense. He gets a good overwhelming surround right there. We'll enter into the cinematic mode so you guys can witness this battle in all of its glory. And now look at the archers just teeing off on the back there, doing barely any damage. You can see them trying to focus down the single men-at-arms. Men-at-arms just barely getting their swords in there, clashing and trying their best. Leenock just still holding steadfast. A couple spears now beginning to chase down the men-at-arms that begin to make their way onto the back line, but still Hera getting absolutely overwhelmed here. The knights just cleaning up the men-at-arms, and we can now see the emergency repairs going to be coming up. But I tell you what, you're going to need more than emergency repairs at this point in time, Hera, because that is a huge mass from Leenock, and he is looking incredibly strong in this game. Ladies and gentlemen, I suspect that we may have a good game coming through any second just because of the way that Leenock's playing. Also going up to the castle age behind this, so not only overwhelming his opponent on this front, but also going up to the castle age. That is going to be the biggest nail in the coffin if I have ever seen one. I can't imagine how Hera would feel after he sees that age up coming through. And it looks like Good Game comes through before he even sees the age up. I'm sure while he's surrendering, he's going to see his enemy gets up to the next stage and he's thinking, what the hell's going on? Fellas, make sure you check out the N4C. I'm going to be leaving a link in the description. You can go catch some more casting. It's going to be live. I'm going to be in Berlin. Check it out. I'll catch you in the next one.